target that is below 7% as compared to the non-Asians. So what it says is the non-Asians are more tolerant and they got a better response with the basal insulins, whereas the Asians they are not giving that much of response as non-Asians, because the reason and the culprit is the carbohydrate diet which we take, which leads to the postprandial glucose excursions, that is to be taken care and that is to be tackled and that is to be addressed in Asian population by the clinicians. That is, we are supposed to take the burden. This is the conclusion. And coming to simplifying the insulin therapy in India with co-formulation or premix, it is the biphasic premix. See, everything is interlinked. I said earlier, the HbA1c is not dependent on either fasting plasma glucose or postprandial glucose. It is dependent on both. More so, with the fasting plasma glucose, as per the current research, the latest research says the 60% of the HbA1c is constituted by fasting plasma glucose and 40% is constituted by postprandial glucose. And the co-formulation premix insulins, it is related to both fasting plasma glucose and the postprandial plasma glucose. And the inference is increased postprandial glucose and fasting plasma glucose drive increase in HbA1c. Recent meta-analysis found that PPG has got a stronger correlation with HbA1c than FBC. Please delete this from your mind. This was long ago. The slide was prepared. The reference was taken from 2007. I think Diabetes Care. No, this doesn't hold good in this current scenario. The more is from fasting plasma glucose. The insulin co-formulation premix provides a total control of fasting and the postprandial glucose. Yes, absolutely yes. And evaluation from biphasic human insulins to premix analogs. Earlier, even before that, we used to use in the very beginning of my clinical experience, I used to use the bovine and the porcine, and then only the first is bovine, then porcine, then we got the rDNA genetically engineered human insulins have come in the form of the rapid acting, in the form of NPH, and both put together is called this biphasic premixed insulin. That is what Novo Nordisk started promoting, because Novo Nordisk has got a prominent role in making the innovations in the insulin formulations for roughly around a century ago. Like they have got an experience of like 100 years of experience. So that is not a short experience. From way back to 1920 to 23 to now 20, it's almost a century. See, you see this 70-30, what we generally prescribe, that is human mixed, what we call, that is called the soluble insulin, that is the short acting. Short acting is all the time 30%, and the isophane, NPH, what I said, that is intermediate duration of action. So that is 70%. This is pre-mixed preparations. We have got even 50/50. In US, we have in India the two formulations only, 30/70 and the 50/50. Whereas in US and in the other parts of the European Union or UK or Australia, we have got 75/25 and 80/20 and 90/10 also we have got, but we don't have that much of flexibility in India. And coming to the era of biphasic human insulin to the era of analogs have come, the designer insulins have come, wherein the soluble insulin in the same percentage, the 30, and the protamine, that is crystalline insulin analog, which increases the duration of the action of this particular insulin, like what we see in the premix, that is the Novomix 30 means, that is insulin, soluble insulin aspart along with this particular crystallized protamine insulin. And premix insulin, better glycemic control, the insulin initiation is with Biphasic insulin aspart 30, that's what I'm telling. Biphasic insulin aspart is the premix, that is 30, versus Iglar U, the insulin glargine U100. That is, it is like the comparing the premix analog with a basal analog. That is biphasic insulin aspart is compared with basal insulin glargine U100, and the reductions after 20 weeks, 26 weeks. You can see definitely it has got an edge because it is biphasic, this is basal. The significantly better reduction in HbA1c is seen with once a day biphasic insulin aspart 30 versus once a day insulin glargine 100. And premix insulin better PPG control, insulin initiation, and you can see the same this thing significantly a better postprandial control is seen with biphasic insulin aspart 30. And premix insulins willingness to pay from the Indian patients. See, in an out of pocket market like India, because we don't have any health insurance system like what we see in US, that is what NIS, National Insurance, the National Insurance Scheme, whereas NHS in this particular part, the UK, that's called the National Health Scheme. We don't have such schemes in India, so the patient has to pay every penny from his own pocket or her own pocket, which makes the burden more and more. But according to this slide, it says 96.4% of the patients studied were willing to pay for biphasic insulin aspart 30. And the premix insulin complication reduction. Naturally, when you achieve a better fasting plasma glucose control, when you achieve a postprandial glucose control, automatically the HbA1c goes down, and also the severity and the incidence and the prevalence of the complications also they go down. Like you see the complications, the ESRD, that is ESKD or ESRD, the end-stage renal disease, the stage 5 diabetic kidney disease. The insulin glargine has shown a reduction by 10.6%, whereas the once a day biphasic insulin aspart has reduced to the 5%, that is 53% reduction more when compared to the insulin glargine. The same is seen with the myocardial infarction. It is more than reduction of more than 14% when compared to the insulin glargine U100. And coming to this, I have already told that there will not be much difference in the decrease in the complications of macrovascular complications per se, the myocardial infarction, the stroke, and the peripheral artery disease, PAD or PVD, peripheral vascular disease. We don't find, because the microvascular complication risk is much dependent on the glucose control. And the severe vision loss, okay, that is coming to the microvascular complication. Maybe it is because of the macular edema, clinically significant macular edema, or because of the NPDR or PDR, whatever it may be, the non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy, or the next stage, the worst stage is proliferative diabetic retinopathy. You find a 14.5% reduction with insulin glargine, whereas you find a 10.9% reduction in this thing. So overall the reduction rate when compared to insulin glargine, the aspart has got a clear spurt by a difference of 25% risk reduction. Also the ulcer, that is DFU, diabetic foot ulcer, 20.2% reduction with this particular this thing, whereas this is by a minimal margin of 4% extra reduction with the premix insulin, that is biphasic insulin aspart once a day. And the cost effective option with regards to the premix insulin, and if you can calculate the cost when compared to the biphasic aspart 30 versus insulin glargine U100 in Indian patients, a reduction of both complication costs and the treatment costs as simulated over 30 years in the IMI score diabetes model is, see the treatment costs with this particular The light blue is biphasic insulin aspart, and the dark navy blue is insulin glargine. So you can see the difference. The treatment cost is 2,21,642 rupees, whereas with insulin glargine, basal insulin analog glargine, 3,45,152 rupees. And in the complications, this is for treatment. As far as treating the complications of diabetes, the total cost with the biphasic insulin aspart was 1,98,819 rupees. And whereas with insulin glargine, the basal insulin glargine, it is 2,35,318. So put together the treatment cost and the complications cost, it is 4,69,777 rupees with this particular biphasic insulin aspart, when compared to this insulin glargine being 6,27,538. So you can see the reduced burden on the patient when you opt for this particular biphasic insulin aspart when compared to the insulin glargine U100. The take home message for biphasic insulin aspart. Biphasic insulin aspart 30 is backed by power of proven legacy over the past 17 years. Absolutely agreed. Initiating insulin therapy with OD biphasic insulin aspart 30 offers control for both PPG and FPG with improved HbA1c reduction as compared to OD insulin glargine U100, but I am not in favor of this particular. Clinically it has shown the differences, but practically I never have gone for a single dose of biphasic insulin aspart. Either I will go for the OD dosage of either basal insulin, let it be poor man's choice, the NPH, or the affordable segment, either the glargine or the degludec. So like Detimer and see, biphasic insulin aspart 30 effectively reduces the risk of complications, offering better cost effectiveness benefit as compared to insulin glargine U100. Okay. Now we are coming to the last part of our talk. Actually, the insulin co-formulation, a step forward in innovation. Now we are coming to like the slide shows the human insulins, the 30% and the 70%, and the biphasic analog insulin I have shown, premix analog, the soluble insulin analog, and the protamine, the crystallized protamine insulin analog, and the insulin degludec aspart. That's what. See, it's a combination of insulin degludec, that is the long acting basal insulin, with the rapid acting analog, that is a combination that is actually called basal plus. Now for our convenience, you can use it as a basal plus, or you can use it as the BD doses also for a better glycemic control. So this is in terms of brands. If you want me to say, I am not supposed to say the brands as a speaker, but okay, this is like human mixtard, and this is like Novomix, and this is Rhizodec. And you can see the curve also, the wonderful curve, the insulin co-formulation concept, the basal insulin with a bolus insulin in a single injection can mimic the physiological insulin secretion of this particular, the normal human physiological secretion of insulin. You typically find that pattern with this particular molecule, the combination therapy of a basal insulin with a bolus insulin, that is the degludec and the insulin aspart, that mimics the normal physiological pattern of the insulin secretion in the human body, and it avoids the shoulder effect and variability of protaminized premixed insulins, thereby reducing the risk of hypoglycemia. The shoulder effect is nothing but this is an unwanted, undesirable effect which is usually seen with the premixed biphasic insulins like the 3070 with the short acting and the intermediate acting, that is by human mixtard, where there is a lag over this particular the protaminized fraction of this particular insulin gets entangled with the soluble insulin and makes it a quite longer sustained hypoglycemia, which is not a desirable action and which overlaps. So you don't find this particular the bad effect, the shoulder effect we don't see in the most advanced designer insulins are the analog insulins. That is the greatest advantage. So when there is no prolonged blood glucose going down and down, so you don't have the incidence of hypoglycemia. Obviously, the greatest take home message from this particular the basal insulin degludec is it is almost a peakless 24-hour insulin, because it stays in the body for more than 25 hours, taken for granted without any this thing. Whereas though the glargine in the initial days they used to say it's a true 24-hour basal insulin, it is not so, because many of the insulin clamp studies have shown that in type 1 it is not at all acting as a 24-hour insulin. It acts only to the tune of 18 to 22 hours max by max. In type 2 it is to 20 to 22 hours, not never a 24-hour insulin. The real 24-hour insulin is insulin degludec, which has come off late into the Indian market with the brand name of Tresiba, and the combination with aspart is our the Ryzodec. You can see this, the blue line is the physiological insulin profile. Much curves are missing in this slide. So this is see, you need to make a change. Praveen, are you there? No, nobody from.
You can click, sir. The curves will come. You can click on next.
Where?
Next
It has gone to the next slide. No. No. See, you should be. See, whenever you are providing the slides to a speaker like me, you should be very cautious. Okay. See, IDEC asp is a that is insulin degludec and aspart is a co-formulation of ultra long acting insulin degludec and rapid acting insulin aspart. That's what I've been telling. It's an ultra long acting insulin which stays in the body for more than 24 hours. So you can use it as a basal plus formulation. Actually, it's a wonderful basal plus. So there are multiple regimes, I said, right? Okay. Or they are only rapid acting, where we use it in the conditions like DKA, the basal insulin, where we use as the initiation of insulin therapy is concerned, along with the existing OADs, the bibasic premixed, a poor man's choice, the human mixtard, 30-70 or 50-50. If it is a sumptuous eater, it is 50-50. If not a sumptuous eater, 30-70 is enough. And likewise, the next option is the analog premix, biphasic insulin aspart used twice a day. And next is the ultimate is the combination of insulin degludec aspart, that is 70%, and insulin aspart, the rapid acting analog, 30%, existing separately in one single formulation. That is the greatest advantage, because the problem with this is, see, you can see the degludec and insulin degludec and insulin aspart, both are put in a single thing and which is given subcutaneously. One is for a slow dissociation and the one is for the rapid dissociation. This is insulin aspart is meant for rapid dissociation and the insulin degludec is meant for a slow dissociation, because insulin degludec is always in the form of a dihexamer, whereas the insulin aspart is in the form of a hexamer all the time. See, the basic principle of insulin I want to highlight here. Insulin always will be in the form of, as long as it is in the bottle, insulin, the conventional human insulins, rDNA, genetically engineered rDNA insulins, as long as they are in the bottle, they remain in the form of a hexamer. When that is taken, when it is given into the subcutaneous tissue, the breakdown process starts from a hexamer to dimer, and the dimer to again to break down into a monomeric insulin. And always remember, monomeric insulin is the active principle of the insulin. So finally, any hexamer has to break down to dimer, and dimer has to break down to monomer. Then only it acts. That is the reason why we ask the patient to take at least 30 minutes prior to the meal. Is this particular degradation process of getting it to converting itself into an active metabolite, like monomeric insulin. It takes around roughly to 25 to 30 minutes time, so that all the time we ask the patient, if the patient is going to take the breakfast by 8:30 in the morning, we ask the patient to take the human insulins at 8 o'clock, so that this degradation the metabolic process takes 30 minutes. So same like 12 hours apart, in the 8:30 in the night, 8 in the night and 8:30 dinner. So the greatest advantage is these principles, the moment they go into the body, they are in the monomeric forms. So that is the greatest aspect of this particular the rapid acting analogs. That is the reason why we advise the patient to take this insulins just 5 minutes prior to each meal, any meal, whatever meal. Basically, the basal plus insulin we advocate for the patients with the largest meal. They should take this basal plus. That is going to reduce the fasting plasma glucose or the postprandial, the bolus, the insulin, the post glucose insulins. Thereby, it altogether puts that comes down to the reductions in the we see in the form of reductions in the HbA1c. So that is the reason. So this the one more drawback I just have to mention, either insulin glargine or insulin detimer. So both cannot be combined with this insulin aspart. They cannot be combined because the formulation is such that it's a complex formulation. They cannot be put together. Whereas insulin degludec and insulin aspart can be put together with the technology. So we have, moving on to our next slide. Yes, see the IDEC asp, the mode of protraction at safety state. You can see the IDEC asp, that is insulin degludec and aspart co-formulation. You can see the different ones, and the yellow ones are the insulin aspart, and this blue color is insulin degludec, and this goes on to this the combination insulin aspart in the form of a hexamer. I have told you, insulin degludec in the form of a dihexamer actually. So this is injected into the subcutaneous tissue, whereas the green here is the phenol, and the orange here is not orange. The color is something very peculiar. You find it here is this zinc. See, the phenol diffuses quickly, so releasing this particular insulin aspart hexamer, making it a dimer and a monomer very fast, so that it disintegrates and starts acting very fast. The phenol diffuses quickly, and insulin degludec dihexamers link up with a single side chain contacts to form long multi-hexamers. You can see here very clearly this slide. And the subcutaneous, all the time remember, insulin is to be given subcutaneously, only subcutaneous. The best part is abdomen, because abdomen has got lot of advantages. The abdomen has got abundant fat, abundant space, and it is very easy for self administration. One can catch hold of the fat layer and give it with a 90-degree angle straight away. And the second biggest advantage is there is lymphatic drainage as well as the venous drainage in the abdomen only, whereas in other parts, if you take it to the thigh, or if you take it to the deltoid area, if you take it to the gluteal area, there is no lymphatic drainage, only venous drainage will be there, and 80 to 90% of the insulin will be absorbed and 10% will not be absorbed. If you give it to the abdomen, 100% absorption takes place, and the most advantage is, and it is nowhere related to the exercise, because if you take it to the thigh and you go for a walk, there will be fast absorption of the insulin, which results in the hypoglycemia. Whereas you take it to the abdomen, there won't be hypoglycemia at all, and you have got abundant space. Like, okay, side rotation is very important, and all the abdomen can be taken. So zinc diffuses, whereas the phenol diffuses quickly, whereas the zinc, I said, zinc diffuses very slowly, causing the individual insulin deglutaric hexamers to deassemble, releasing monomers slowly. So, insulin deglutaric and aspart can be used in patients with hepatic or renal impairment with dose modifications. See, ultimately, whenever you have either renal impairment or hepatic impairment, anything, see, insulin